This is Captain I put a suppressor in everything noob, and this is the UMP. So this thing right here is a standalone weapon that was around during the days where I didn't actually play this on PC. So this is a pretty old mod, and it is the UMP-45. But the reason I'm looking at it today is it's actually got some reload animations, and I believe when I first recorded with a UMP, it had the combat rifle animations, and I wasn't quite up to doing the commentary yet. I didn't grab myself this mic that I'm holding and jiggling right now. Apologies for the bad audio there. But yeah, getting into the attachments here. So first off, we've got a selection of receivers, including semi-autos and autos. But, you know, maybe we're going to chuck this with a auto receiver of powerful automatic receiver. Yeah, we're not screwing with any non-semi or just semi-automatic receivers. Can't do anything for the barrels or the stocks, which is unfortunate. But for the magazine, this is completely useless. You can change between these three, but they actually don't do anything. So we'll just keep the standard magazine on, and we'll have a better ammo capacity. And better than what? Who knows? Next up, we've got the scopes. Now, despite this having a tactical rail, the modder feels the need to just put that there, even though there's just a blatant tactical rail there, and just flip the sights down. Screw it. Alright, this thing better have an aerotech or there will be blood. And luckily it does, even though it's the smallest, most tiny aerotech I've ever seen, and that is rather bad. And in addition to that, the thing's bloody untextured, so yeah, we're not going to be using that, would you believe. Instead, we'll chuck on probably just... No, not the recon scope, probably just the combat rifle sight there, that'll do fine. And yeah, there's nothing you can put in the muzzle except for a suppressor, and once you've actually gone ahead and attached that on, there's no way of getting that off without destroying this gun and finding a new UMP to have no muzzles on. So you better be happy with this thing with a suppressor, because that thing's not coming off. Also, legendary effect is there if you want it, blah blah blah. Let's get into Gunner's Plaza and shoot people. Right, we're in Gunner's Plaza now, let's shoot people. So this is this thing in first person. We'll see the animations as we get into it, but I'd like to point out this bloody reflex sight is massive and it's dazzling. You can barely bloody see anything through it. So if we go into night vision, okay, it's not as bad as I thought, but still, that's too bloody big. Make it smaller. Alright, Gunners over here, let's shoot them. Oh, you think you can detect me, can ya? Well, can you detect all of these bullets flying at you from a place where you could blatantly see? And there's the reload animation there. Reload animation supplied by War Daddy. Quality, blah blah blah. Now, without shooting these guys with sneak attack crits, you can tell that we're doing less than favorable damage, but we are playing on very hard as usual, so of course we're not going to be doing as well as you would on lesser difficulties. Wham! Third person mode. Does this thing have custom animations for that? It does. But the only reason that is because that is actually equivalent to the submachine gun animations that I've actually got the War Daddy submachine gun animations installed, and in third person this thing reloads like a submachine gun. So let's just take a look at that for a second. You just piss the clip off that way or the mag off that way, and it just nowhere to be seen, and then you conjure the next one up from thin air, which is great. The animations work great in first person and third person alike, so yeah, good job, War Daddy, you're good at animating. Alright, with that legendary gunner dropped and this thing up with its 25 bullets, we should get on to killing the rest of these gunners now. Now, since this thing is a submachine gun in its variety, or just in its type, we are going to be doing fairly well in close quarters, but probably reaching out, this thing isn't going to do quite as well. I'd also like to point out the horrible screen shake you get when firing this thing. Whilst probably realistic, it's not a very good thing for the player to sit through when you're doing that, so I apologise for anyone who's getting motion sickness for watching this. And if you happen to be watching this thing in the car, then yeah, you're probably vomiting already. So we've gone into nerd rage here just because we're being shot by our synth replacement. So I want to get rid of you nice and quickly because you do some nasty DPS to me, and yeah, there we go. Getting all of that nerd rage happening there, doing a hell of a lot of damage. Oh, just a little bit more. Alright, let's see if we can't just slug this out, see if we... Okay, now that we've killed that gunner, I believe this lot is clear, and if I can knock off that bloody turret and that commander back into sneak mode, and we're probably going to have to make ourselves sneaky throughout the entire thing. And yes, that's what happens. just Bridget kills her synth self and doesn't even ask questions, because with gunners you shoot first, ask questions later. That's probably why they shoot the sole survivor just on sight without knowing who they are, because yeah, and it fits. There are mods that I've seen that make the gunners not hostile by default, which I feel like, I mean, these guys are meant to be hostile by default. They're meant to just be high-end mercenaries, just basically the Talon Company for Fallout 4, except there's a little bit more to them than the Talon Company guys. Just a parallel military group that'll probably be phased out by the next time Fallout comes out, whenever Bethesda decides to do that. Although people are hoping that Obsidian makes the next one for obvious reasons. But yeah, keep the gunplay in your next game, Obsidian, next Fallout game, Obsidian, and you'll have yourself a bloody 10 out of 10 game that will be just brilliant, because I'll actually like shooting people in the Fallout game. But you know, if this is wishful thinking, it will probably never happen. And also have a sting pack Bridget, because we're going to fight some super mutants, although we're going to make some changes up to our UMP. Also, for those of you who want to hear this thing unsuppressed, it uses the combat rifle sounds. I've got the UMP replacers on. This is just part of the Battlefield 4 mod that I've sort of put together. It is worth mentioning that this thing actually uses the semi-auto animations in the automatic thing, so I'm pretty sure you can screw up the syncing a bit, but maybe it's just an audio glitch that happened just before. But yeah, they sound okay generally, but the sounds do cut off each other, which is kind of annoying. But we'll get to Fallon's apartment store and see if this thing works with Sniper. Alright, so I've taken this thing to a workbench and somehow attach a microwave to the top of the thing, and that will somehow stop our enemies from moving if we get a lucky hit on them. So with this in semi-auto and the super mutants over there, and yeah, let's see how this goes. Now, oh? Hang on a second, I'm pretty sure I gave this a powerful receiver. Let me... Okay, looks like this thing is just automatic only, so I've only got this microwave in for show now, but that's okay. I'm currently cooking some party pies for me to eat after this, so yum. Righto, you can die, Mr. Soup. What? Okay, this thing is automatic, but it still gets the knockdown effect. That's okay. The first weapon that I think of when someone says sniper is definitely UMP, so yeah, that makes sense. Alright, let's just make waste of the rest of these super mutants, then I can have a nice meal. Could you just peek out for a second, mate? Oh, I could actually target them in VATS. That's pretty good. That's reaching out pretty far for a UMP. Good job. But I want to target this bloke. Oh, good. Now we're in danger. Well, luckily for us, we've got a giant-ass scope on this thing. Also, those traces are nice. I didn't notice them before. That's cool. Okay, now this thing has got traces on it, which means it's not hit scan? Does that mean it's not hit scan? I don't think it's actually hit scan with all of these traces going on, so you know what? That adds a little bit of layer of realism that I wasn't expecting when I downloaded and installed this mod, so that's good. Also, there's something nice about actually seeing where your bullets go. It makes it sort of more satisfying to hit things, and this is something that New Vegas and Fallout 3 did a little bit better than 4, because basically everything was hit scan. Even the Gauss rifle, which left a vapor trail where it shot, and also you've been knocked down due to that. Oh, did I just hear a ding? I think my party pies are done. Well, I gotta fight these super mutants first, and also that was a strange view there. We took a look inside of our character there. Good job, that's camera. Also, it's worth mentioning you can just take cover behind these shopping trolleys and they can do nothing to even shoot through it. It stops laser beams in its tracks. It probably stops mini nukes in its tracks. And you know what? That makes sense. I'll give the game merit for that. Anyways, now this thing is suffering a little bit of the old damage, not doing well against super mutants, which I expected with this thing, so I'm not too cut up about this thing not being quite as good as it should. But man, I'm loving these traces. I didn't expect this, so yeah, this is actually a nice little surprise on this. Also, instead of being staggered and waiting for that animation to surpass, we'll just go ahead and hit him up in VATS there, and with a couple of headshots we are actually getting fairly good damage on him, so there's probably no reason not to go ahead and try to get as many headshots as possible, except for when you knock them down and completely obscure your line of sight on them. It would be nice if I was actually able to get more ammo capacity than 25, but whatever. Also, the sounds on this one are just suppressed UMP sounds from Battlefield 4, so yeah, it sounds cool. And looks like we've only got a few to go back into caution now, which would lead me to believe that we're able to get some of these sneak attack criticals back. So you have yourself a crit or so. Thank you, VatsCam. I don't want this to be a MXR video, but now it is an MXR tier video. Anyways, more super mutants to kill. We'll just go ahead and spam that crit button because we just like wasting all of these crits. Don't worry, there's a bunch of rad roaches we'll shoot to get our crits back. So we'll just save up on AP just by simply jogging up on this. Don't kill those rad roaches, they're my kills. Don't you dare, mate. Leave that rad roach alone, he's mine. That's better. Wow, I'm actually being assisted by combat by a bloody rad roach. Now he's gone mad at me. Well, I got news for you, and it comes in the package of 345 ACPs. Also, you had a rolling pin in you somehow and a furious board. I'd be furious if I got a board as legendary drop too, but there you have it. That was a UMP with a sniper effect, despite being still automatic in yeah, that's weird. I think this is probably have to do with the separate ESP file, because this weapon was made standalone with the animation somehow. Probably got taken down. Who knows? We'll move on to a monster now, I think. Righto, we're going to leave Swan alone today, and we're going to attack this ghoul instead. So now I've got a toaster installed on this weapon, so we're going to have some baked beans and toast when we're done with this, and it's going to be great. So first off there, with our 25 bullets, I think we've made him mutate. We knocked him down too, so that's good. And you know what? I've discovered the secret on actually being successful as a YouTuber. What I'm going to do tomorrow is just stop making these weapon review content type of thing, stop making mods, stop doing all of that nonsense, and just focus on Minecraft stuff and also Fallout sex mods, because sex sells, right? I'll get heaps of views that way, my subscription count will boom, and nobody will ever call me out for being a fucking weirdo. No, never. Alright. So, I hope you really enjoyed this thing, because there won't be any more of this weapon content, and I really hope you can pick up sarcasm. I'm not actually doing that at all, I'm just taking the piss and talking shit, because this weapon really does the talking for itself in terms of its performance. So, I'm going to see if I can actually dig up the link to this old weapon, and if you actually want to download this for yourself, I downloaded the one with the animations of War Daddy's Discord, and yeah, it's a hive of scum and villainy in there, so be prepared. Obviously that means it's PC only, because there's a whole lot of elitists on there, I reckon, and yeah, they're not all that bad. I just got into it and they seem kind of cool, I guess, I'm not sure. But thank you for watching, guys.